Thank you for joining us for the 2023 Big East Startup Challenge. Our program will begin in 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I am Vince Nicastro, and I serve as the Deputy Commissioner of the Big East Conference. And on behalf of the Big East, I'm delighted to welcome all of you to the 2023 Big East Startup Challenge. This is the fourth edition of this event, and we are looking forward to seeing more incredibly creative and innovative business ideas from the student entrepreneurs who are representing our 11 Big East campuses this evening. The Startup Challenge is one of the premier events on the Big East calendar each year and began conceptually about 10 years ago. It emanated from the work of our presidents and our athletics directors who were reforming the Big East at that time. One of their primary strategic goals at that time was to develop collaborations and partnerships among the Big East schools, which transcended athletics. The Startup Challenge is a prime example of that vision coming to life. In order to animate great ideas like the Startup Challenge, and those that we will see this evening, it takes commitment and teamwork from many people. I wanted to take a few minutes to recognize some individuals who have played a critical role in making this event happen again. First, I wanted to thank the team from Seton Hall University who is hosting tonight's event. In particular, the Seton Hall Provost, Dr. Katia Passerini, as well as Susan Sherrick-Hines, who directs the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the Stillman School of Business. We'd also like to thank Michael Supius, who's the Director of Digital Media and Web Development at Seton Hall, and his entire team for managing the technology and the production of tonight's event. We would also like to thank our esteemed judges and our keynote speaker tonight, all of whom will receive a proper introduction in a bit, but who are incredibly accomplished individuals and busy professionals. We appreciate your commitment to encouraging and developing young entrepreneurs, and we're honored by your participation this evening. I wanted to also mention Tu Luscri, the Managing Director and Assistant Provost for the Center for Interdisciplinary Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Washington University of St. Louis. But he's a Villanovan and a Big East fan at heart, and he really was instrumental in helping get this effort off the ground about 5 years ago. And he continues to stay involved with this project as he guides the judging process. I also wanted to mention Michael Sante and our entire Big East team. Michael has been a driving force behind the scenes from the very beginning of this project, and his passion for connecting with students is second to none. Although Michael has recently left the Big East team for another opportunity, he has volunteered to stay on with this event and see it through to tonight, which reinforces his commitment to this initiative. Finally, and most importantly, I wanted to personally thank and recognize the participating students and their faculty, mentors, and advisors. Events like this serve as a reminder of the world-class students and faculty that are part of the Big East Conference and which we strive to serve each and every day. Best of luck to everyone this evening. I'm looking forward to the presentations. And with that, I will now turn to Megan Caffrey. It's my pleasure to introduce Megan, who will serve as our host once again for tonight's festivities. Megan?
Thank you so much, Vince. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2023 Big East Startup Challenge. Thank you all for tuning in to support academic collaboration and innovation across Big East membership. My name is Megan Caffrey, and I will be your MC this evening. I've been here with the Big East Conference as a digital network correspondent for quite some time now, and before that, I've been just in sports journalism for nearly 10 years. I'm just as excited as you are to see the pitches from our 11 startup teams. But first, before we get into all of that, I think it's time for us to meet our judges. We have Brandon Andrews, who is the co-founder of the OWL-driven mobile market research app Gauge and former Division I athlete. Don Crouch, a managing director and COO of Global Regulatory and Public Policy at Deloitte Global. Wes Day, the VP of Investments and Partner Deal Management at Teal Investments, LLC, and former entrepreneur. Scott Powell, an analyst at 76 Capital, where he manages the deal flow process and due diligence for the firm. And Christy Wallace, who serves as an advisor for several startups. Welcome, judges, and thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Now, as we will turn to the rules, let's go over some of them. We have 11 teams pitching tonight, one from each Big East member school, and they'll be pitching in a random order. Pitches have been pre-recorded and are no more than 5 minutes in length. After a team's pitch video has been screened, they will have 3 minutes of live Q&A from our panel judges. At the end of the competition, it'll be announced the top 3 finishers. Our first place team will receive a $1,500 honorarium, and our second place team will receive $1,000. Third place finishing will receive $500. Our judges will score the teams based on the following 6 criteria: their idea, a proven market need, their value proposition, the feasibility of their concept, sustainability of their venture, and their passion and presentation. These are all weighted the same, and each will be scored out of 5 for total possible score of 30 points. The order of pitches is presented here. Pitches will take about 2 hours to be followed by a keynote speech by the awards presentation. Earlier this month, the Big East Conference partnered with Villanova to host a full day of celebration of National Girls and Women's Sports Day, culminating with a female-forward broadcast as the Wildcats hosted Marquette in women's basketball. The game aired on FS2 and featured an entirely female crew, myself included, including talent and production. Villanova and Marquette are coached by former Big East women's basketball student athletes Denise Dillon and Megan Duffy.
Welcome inside Finneran Pavilion. So glad you're joining us for our female forward broadcast. Everyone you see today, the head coaches, the officiating staff, the broadcast crew, and everyone behind the scene, women today for this broadcast to celebrate advancements and progress in all facets of women in sports.
The idea for the female forward broadcast was really hatched by our Big East staff to highlight and spotlight the role that women play in the course of basketball games. To see now how women are so entwined with sports in so many different ways, whether it's playing, whether it's coaching, whether it's officiating, whether it's behind the camera, in front of the camera.
Why has this initiative been so important to the conference?
Well, because we support women, Megan, and I hope you know that, because you've done such great work for us.
It was really a day to celebrate all of that and to think about how much the sports world, frankly, has benefited from this infusion of great talent at all levels.
Tomorrow, Kim Adams hosted a panel, the Women's Leadership Panel here at Villanova, that featured speakers such as Christine Dorfler, the CFO NBC Sports, Christy Hedfett, the Executive Director of Playfly Sport Properties, and Laura Price, the COO of the Philadelphia 76ers.
It was a wonderful way to highlight, again, the important role that women are playing in the sports world. The Big East has now 22 sports that we sponsor. 12 of them are women's sports. We've really put a stake in the ground in terms of supporting the female student athletes in our league, 3,000 of them across our 11 pools. Because I didn't have many women to look up to when I was coming up the ladder, I sort of take this personally. I really do feel a responsibility to make sure that the women who are following have a chance to learn, to grow. So if we can make their journey easier, then we will have done our jobs.
Now, our first pitch representing Xavier University is Jack Reesing. He will be pitching RateMyCollegeLandlord.com, a website that matches landlords of off-campus housing with college students to increase overall satisfaction of both parties.
There's a common problem at colleges and universities around the country. At Xavier, if you're a freshman or sophomore, you are confined to the dormitories. Once you become a junior, you are now expected to find housing off campus. Let me tell you how challenging that is. You have to make a decision by the start of your sophomore year for where you're going to live your junior year, because it is such a fast-paced market, and you have to be able to be ahead of the game. This is a new experience for these students that often makes the student feel confused and helpless. I know it did when I was going through that process. This means that all the sophomores and juniors are, for the first time, thinking about, where do I live off campus? When starting this process, I've got to know what places are available, who I might roommate with. I need more information on the various properties. I have to look on websites, look at bulletin boards, and talk to people. I'm unaware of all the costs. I'm not sure how good a shape the property is actually in, and I have no information on how good the landlord is. Does he respond? Is he slow on maintenance? Are there hidden costs? This is a frustrating and nerve-wracking process. This whole process allows for lousy landlords to stay in the marketplace without improving. My goal is to make all that frustration and confusion go away with RateMyCollegeLandlord.com, which is the mashup of Yelp, Airbnb, and Rate My Professor. Let me explain how this works. The first thing we're going to do at Xavier is we're going to identify all the off-campus housing available to juniors and seniors. Then, much like what Yelp did, we will build profiles for each property, gathering data from students, listing sites, and bulletin boards. Then we will reach out to those students that live in those houses for information like pictures on the space, get ratings on both the property and the landlord, have them talk about their neighbors, landlords, and things like maintenance response times. All the information we don't get from the traditional listing site to build an amazing database about each of the properties out there. In order to bring this amazing system to other universities, we are going to empower entrepreneurial students to become ambassadors and run this great system for us. We will look for entrepreneurial students who are outgoing and connected. We envision licensing our technology to those students, allowing them to run this business on their campus. There are a few ways we anticipate this site to monetize. First, we will charge landlords a fee to claim their property listing and allow them to manage it. This will be a semi-annual payment. Secondly, we envision providing advertising and marketing opportunities for a range of ancillary services that will be helpful for students. Some examples of these services are a roommate matchmaking service, moving and storage, and a marketplace to buy and sell furniture. Lastly, we see this as a great way for the local cable company or local bar and restaurant to advertise. This can be a huge connective system. At Xavier, we have 6,700 students with 57% of them living off campus. That means there are about 950 off-campus options. We have mapped out the rest of the Big East schools, and just within the Big East, there are about 15,000 off-campus options out there. Our plan is to start this first at Xavier. In year one, we will build out the system, gather ratings and reviews, putting property profiles up, and we can sell ancillary services. We expect to generate little revenue in year one, but once the system has evolved and created that network effect, then we think students and parents will also be willing to pay. Now, not only have we solved the problem students face, but we are giving parents peace of mind, helping the universities feel better about the off-campus housing options, and we start to separate the slumlord from the landlord. Like I said before, we plan to build our system and create a network in 1 year. After that, we anticipate a moderate year two, with 20% of the Xavier market paying to manage their profiles. In year three is really when this thing takes off and we can introduce it to other universities. I believe RateMyCollegeLandlord.com will transform the off-campus housing process. Thank you. My name is Jake Reisig from Xavier University, and this is RateMyCollegeLandlord.com.
Now, judges will have 3 minutes to ask questions about the venture. Judges, you may begin whenever you're ready.
Jake, thanks so much for that great presentation. My first question is really around building this marketplace, reaching out to students as well as landlords to get a listing of properties and to get customers. What is your go-to-market strategy for the outreach and marketing?
Yeah, so at Xavier, I'm currently working in a role that allows me to interact with landlords quite a bit. I'm actually an assistant property manager right now. So in the market, I've seen a lot of landlords come up and actually express interest in this. And the first people we're going to interact with are the landlords, because without the landlords, they really drive the market. So without them, this network effect doesn't really play out. And then they can actually ask their renters and tenants, hey, can you guys rate and review us if they think they're a great landlord? If not, we think some bad ratings and reviews will come naturally. And also to expand and to scale, we see this as a licensing instead of boots on the ground. Hey, we're going to go to every college and kind of start this up.
Awesome. I'll jump in. No, Jake, that was great. And Christy kind of stole my question. But I guess another main thing is another main question I have is, what do you need to get this going? What are you looking for capital wise? And, what do you think the next 3-4 things are you really got to do, you think, to take this to the next level?
So minimum viable product is the first thing we got to accomplish. And that nowadays, it's pretty easy. There's a lot of plugin tools for websites. So the cost of actually starting is extremely low. It's actually really just time and energy, blood, sweat, and tears. That's the real cost of this. And then as we try and grow, there's going to be a need for help for, getting landlords on the site, getting properties on the site, getting profiles up. So that could come with a cost of talent, and that could come with, hey, I'm going to give you a little equity in this thing.
Okay, great.
Hey, Jake, let me jump in here. How close are you to having that minimum viable product?
So I'm actually in talks with some web developers, and it's a decision whether, hey, we build this all out right away where we don't really have to service it after, or we go with the minimum viable, which I think that's the smarter idea, just to test run it here at Xavier, see what happens, see how much foot traffic we get, and then we can go ahead with the big build out.
Jake, great job. What's the closest thing out there that you've seen to this, or is there nothing and it's purely the only competition is the word of mouth institution that's in place today?
Yeah, so the competition is really listing sites, but those sites really just give you a little bit of information here. Here's the cost, here's this, here's that. And then there's some competition on ratings of the actual property, not the landlord and the property.
Not to interrupt, but that is time. So Jake, thank you very much.
Thank
Not
you.
to cut you short on that final answer, but
No problem.
we do have to move on. That was Xavier University's Jake Rising pitching ratemycollegelandlord.com. For almost 200 years, Xavier University has been educating students to become people of learning and reflection, integrity and achievement in solidarity for and with others. The Xavier Center for Innovation seeks to engage Xavier students with mission-aligned ventures and opportunities and to foster interdisciplinary experiential learning at the university. Located in Cincinnati, one of the 10 fastest growing startup hubs in the U.S., undergraduate and graduate students can choose from an array of entrepreneurship and innovation classes. Students participate in such programs as innovation labs, pitch competitions, and hacker weekends. Experiential learning is at the forefront through real-world class projects, internships, and student-run businesses. Social ventures are also integral to Xavier's effort to give back to our community and bring innovation to those in need. Xavier provides a cross-disciplinary approach with opportunities for all students in all colleges to experience and learn about entrepreneurship and innovation. For more information, visit xavier.edu. Up next, we have Marquette University's Rebecca Ode. She'll be pitching the Good Vibes Club. The Good Vibes Club is an apparel company that promotes mental health awareness.
Mental health to me means strength and forgiveness.
It means constantly dealing with something that others might not know about from the outside.
It means a comfortable and safe space for me and my own thoughts.
The Good Vibes Club is an apparel company that does much more than just sell apparel. We are a club that supports one another through mental health. You are not alone. As you saw in the video, so many people have different perspectives on mental health and what it means to them. For me, when I tore my ACL for the second time, I lost my team that was my support system and the sports that I used as my outlet. I felt down. I felt alone. The people that lifted me up were my family and friends, this support system. And I know I'm not the only one. Just 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience a mental illness, and suicide is the second leading cause of death in people aged from 10 to 34. This is real and this is happening, and we need to do something about it. So I looked online. When I was looking, I saw not accepting new clients. There's a wait list. For someone that's already struggling with asking for help, seeing this will make them feel totally shot down. And so I want to develop clothing with a purpose. Imagine a student. A student feels down and low, and they're walking around campus with a mental illness, and they kept getting shot down by these various places. Then they look up and see someone wearing this Good Vibes Club apparel. They finally feel someone supports me, someone cares, someone either cares about my mental illness or has the same one as me. We're developing a community of people that care. And Gen Z and college students, who are our target audience, are trying to find apparel that will back up their beliefs, that back up what they want to support. So I thought to do some research on my own. And I posted on my story, what does mental health mean to you? And I got a mass range of responses. This shows that people care, they want to interact, they want to get involved. So what makes us different? As you can see, there's the Happiness Project and Empathy, and these are two brands that are promoting mental health. But you can also see that they say 50% of profits go to mental health resources and we're giving back. I want to provide transparency. I want people to know what organization they're giving to. So I will provide a selected few organizations that they can select from. So they feel, hey, this is what I care most about. I want to donate to this brand and I want to make it more personable. Also, look at these price tags, $70, $98. That's the amount of groceries for a week. So I want to make this affordable, which is why my price of the hoodie is $45. When you subtract the hoodie cost, which I found from a company, embroidery, who I partnered with, and the donation, you get a total profit of $15. With this profit, I want to establish my business further. I want to develop a bank account where I can see the money in and money out. And this money out will go towards spreading the word, having ads on Instagram. I don't want this just to be on Marquette. Everyone has mental illness in their lives. So I want to spread this throughout campuses, throughout places. I also want to go to mental health conventions. I want to get a bigger platform on Instagram. Gen Z interacts with Instagram posts and feeds, and they're buying their apparel from Instagram now. I also want to further develop a website so that it's easily clickable. And an idea is a competition. So a person that supports mental health or cares strongly about it can submit an illustration, and I will have a limited edition hoodie to portray this person and that we care and make it personable. We are inclusive. Everyone, no matter their race, religion, sexuality, has either experienced a mental illness or has someone with a mental illness in their lives. I'm sure you can all think of one or multiple people that have a mental illness. So I want to break the stigma. I want to support others and show that we are raising awareness because we care. So the Good Vibes Club is a community. It's about time you support a brand that supports you. Thank you.
And now, judges, you'll have 3 minutes. You can start your questions whenever you're ready.
Becca, I love your passion. Have you tried out any product yet, or tried to make any product yet by chance?
Yes, so as you can see right now, I'm wearing the original apparel that we made. So I wanted to make Good Vibes Club big on the front. So as I said before, it really shows the message and illustrates that if you're walking past me, you can see it. And a cool other aspect that I also implemented is a smiley face on the back. This shows also that when you're walking past someone, that you're going past someone, they look back and see you, they still see that smile. And from my customers and other like club people, they told me, hey, I want to see something with a blue back and white lettering. So I implemented that because I would care a lot about my customers. So I have this hoodie as well that we just came out with the blue base, white lettering, and as you can see, implementing that smiley as well.
Right. That was like a planted question. You were ready for that one. Something, just not a question, just a quick thought. Having owned and run a apparel retail business, just as you're thinking about some of your costs, keep a lookout for some sneaky transaction costs as you think about your pricing. But great job.
Thank you.
Thanks for this. You mentioned a few times about community. I would love for you to talk a bit more about how you're building that community. Is it centered around your Instagram, or are you doing other things to connect people and provide that support that you've really leaned on during your life?
Yes, of course. So community is the biggest aspect of this company in my eyes. I want it to be that, hey, you don't feel that you just buy this hoodie and then that's it. I don't want it to stop there. I want it to continue with you are part of people that really care. So the way that I do this is through Instagram. Yes, that is one of my platforms, but I want to spread it by more, which is what I'm doing. So primarily through Instagram, I do posts. I post a lot about, hey, here are some mental health tips. Hey, here are some mental health happenings. Here are some things that you could do to enhance your mental health. And I still do those interactive stories, kind of like weekly check-ins, like, hey, how are you doing? Or, hey, here's your reminder that like you are important. And then other ways is that I'm partnered with the Wellness Center here on campus. And so I go to some of their events. I portray my hoodies and I kind of talk about, hey, mental health is important and you should care about mental health. And here are some ways that you can enhance your own mental health. So I try to do some online and in person, and I'm trying to expand this too to other places by having like student ambassadors, so that let's say I have someone from Loyola, and so they see, oh, hey, I've made a post of my student ambassador from Loyola, and they're like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is on my campus too. So I'm trying to spread it all around and try to make many different forms of community and this sense of community.
And that is 3 minutes. That was Marquette's Rebecca O'Day pitching the Good Vibes Club. Marquette University's 707 Hub is home to the Coro Center for Entrepreneurship and the Social Innovation Initiative. The 707 Hub is the space where ideas are shared, stretched, challenged, and realized. Because anyone can be innovative, the 707 Hub is open to all students, and we encourage a cross-disciplinary approach to solving problems. In 2002, the 707 Hub was recognized by the Global Consortium of Entrepreneurship Centers for outstanding student leadership and engagement. Part of the Office of Research and Innovation, the 707 Hub is a space designed to foster collaboration, innovation, and help students put ideas into action. At Marquette, innovation starts here. Learn more at marquette.edu/707-hub. Up next, we have DePaul University's Frida Hernandez, Valerie Sanchez, and Roy Labby. They will be pitching Cultivative, a multi-purpose venture that offers affordable spaces designed to host a variety of small businesses and artists that provide classes and promote creativity in a supportive community.
Hi, everybody. My name is Valerie. This is Frida and Roy, and we are Cultivate. Cultivate is a multi-purpose venue designed to house a variety of local freelance artists that host classes seeking to foster creativity within our patrons. We aim to bring in a diverse offering from jewelry making to photography and everything in between. Being able to afford a physical location where they can sell their product, teach their craft, and promote their business and brand is often unrealistic. The economic downturn that has resulted from the pandemic has only made affording rent costs even less financially feasible. However, without a physical location, it is exponentially more difficult for artists to sell, promote, and gain adequate exposure for their business. For many Americans, the pandemic and recent industry trends have affected how people plan and enjoy time out of the house. Consumers are now seeking out singular spaces that combine entertaining and enriching activities with drinks to avoid planning and traveling to multiple locations. We offer an affordable space where artists can teach and sell their craft in a supportive environment. Cultivate provides businesses with 70% of the revenue generated from their book classes, alleviating some of the financial burden of operating a business on their own. We also provide them with exposure and promotion through our facility and marketing efforts. For consumers, we provide a singular location where they can enjoy multiple forms of entertainment as well as drinks. We are targeting young adults from the ages of 25 to 40. This demographic has disposable income for social outings while frequenting establishments like Cultivate more than any generation. For our artists, we are targeting freelancers who are looking for a studio space to grow. With statistics that we found, we can support that this is an emerging market, as the share of non-temporary freelancers grew to a new high. The number of workers who are non-temporary freelancers rose from 33.8% to 35% between 2020 and 2021, showing how important it is for artists to find spaces to work from.
We're going to focus on 2 different sales channels, whether that's online or in-person bookings. Schedules detailing which classes are offered will be arranged in conjunction with the artist a few months in advance, and these schedules will be available on both channels. They will also include designated capacity so that the classes aren't overbooked. Cultivate is a new concept for the entertainment and activity industry. We hold many marketing advantages due to our business model of housing smaller independent businesses. The individual entrepreneur will conduct their own marketing efforts, which further benefits our mission. Our strategy includes this dual marketing support, but it's not our majority of our plan. We will utilize visual-based social media apps to lead our viewers to further explore our service and book classes. The West Loop is home to a rich culinary scene, as well as a history of championing creativity and community, such as an annual art festival featuring over 150 artists. This location opens our clientele to local residents and an immense tourist market. This modern industrial architecture of the area will only enhance the environment and energy that we will be creating at Cultivate.
Here we have the initial calculations for our expenses and revenues for the first month of operation. First, by housing artists in our space, we see that there are multiple revenue streams through rent costs, class revenues, and beverage sales. With an average class price of $60 per class, our 8 studios are projected to generate $288,000 in revenue. Our beverage revenues are based on an average drink price of $10. And with an average rent of $1,800 per studio, our total revenue sums up to $317,800. Shifting over to the expenses, it is apparent that our largest fixed expense is our artist fees. These artist fees are 70% of the total class booking revenue, which is part of an agreement that an artist signs when they come into a Cultivate space. However, you can clearly see in the opening stages, there is a considerable debt due to the cost of creating our space. These expenses include construction of our building, interior design for communal spaces and bar, installations of POS and sound systems, as well as initial purchasing for all the bar equipment. This cost, while large to start, will transform into solely a maintenance cost, which is minuscule in comparison. In a long-term view, here's a graph of our projections over the first 4 years of operation. The steady growth will be made possible due to diversified revenue streams, with rent being a constant revenue. As we grow the roots in our community, Cultivate also anticipates being able to expand its offerings by bringing in more artists from the Chicagoland area. Our planned expansion from 8 to 12 artists will create more revenue through 2 streams. Our most important partners are the entrepreneurs who are the lifeblood of our business. These relationships are vital since our company's success is so closely linked with the success of our partners.
All in all, our team exists to provide Chicago artists with a home where they can grow their businesses in a collaborative environment. We strive to bring groups of people together to embrace their creativity, support their local entrepreneurs, and cultivate a community that celebrates the beauty in our city.
And now, judges, we'll have 3 minutes. Timer starts now.
Awesome. I'll jump in here. No, really interesting presentation, and certainly think there's a need there. I guess one of the main things I'm just want to understand is a little more on the property side. Are you seeking out different venues, properties, and kind of working with them, or you planning to build your own space? I guess you just speak to that a little bit, please.
So our main plan right now is to find a warehouse space or like a kind of an abandoned office space, which are less and less in use now ever since everything has shifted online since the pandemic. So we would take that space and transform it into a space that is suitable for our needs. We would begin by renting that from the landlord, and then through that we would sublease to our artists and pay the rent back in that way.
Awesome, thank you.
And let me jump in next. Do you have a relationship already with some artists, or would it be just trying to find them from the start?
So I think it's an interesting mix of both. All 3 of us have unique connections sort of to different aspects of the industry. Valerie here is a small business owner herself that has many connections in martial arts for self-defense classes, or she runs her own meal prepping business with connections to more of the culinary classes or things like that. I have connections to different painters and artists throughout the cities through my connection to theater and the arts, as well as, so we have a bunch of different connections that we can use in our personal life as well as social media in order to contact people who are full-time artists looking to grow.
Great. I'll jump in. How are you marketing your product at this time? How are you getting your word out there? What's your thought process around that?
Right now, so our first step would be to sort of find a space and find a way to bring this idea more so closer to reality before we want to market it and find artists that are willing to come in and work with us, not in order to kind of like sour our name in the community and then get artists' hopes up and not be able to deliver in a timely manner. So right now we're more so in the works of trying to get this up and off the ground before we go and really exercise those connections.
And are you trying to get them into really are you trying to get people in who are going to teach classes, or what are you trying to, I guess, bring them in specifically to do? Just give them a space, or
So our priority is to give them a space, an affordable space where they can grow their business, because at least for
that is actually 30 minutes. So time is up, guys. Thank you so much. That was DePaul University's Frida Hernandez, Valerie Sanchez, and Roy Labby pitching Cultivate. The Coleman Entrepreneurship Center at DePaul University empowers students, alumni, and community members to build sustainable businesses that do good and do well in Chicago. We are the hub to empower, educate, and accelerate entrepreneurship and innovation in creating businesses with a purpose and mission. To support the successful growth of our stakeholders, the CEC hosts year-round events, programs, and workshops, such as Purpose Pitch Competition, Hackathon Challenge, Innovation Expo, Internship Program, Mentorship Program, and much more. DePaul is also supporting its students through launching its $2.5 million venture fund for related startups. Learn more about the CEC by visiting their website at cec.depaul.edu. Up next, we have Butler University's Emma Ivanka. She'll be pitching Athletes Mental Playbook. The Athletes Mental Playbook brings mental health resources and awareness to the sports community.
Hello, I'm Emma Ivanko, the CEO and founder of the Athletes Mental Playbook. I'm also a retired collegiate athlete whose experiences have led to the creation of this business. Now, when you think of the word athlete, I'm sure some words that come to mind are words such as tough, strong, and relentless. I came into college with the typical athlete belief that we're meant to be and expected to be mentally tough. And there is no room for mental health issues in that equation, as that is contradictory to the perceived athlete image. I was battling an undiagnosed injury that sidelined me for my whole college career. If you asked me to describe how I was feeling for that first year, I wouldn't and couldn't have been able to tell you. I didn't understand how I could be feeling that way. I wasn't able to process my emotions, and I was shoving it down and putting a smile on my face. Once I got surgery, I knew my mindset needed to change. I met with the on-staff sports psychologist here at Butler, and she recommended I try journaling. She saw that I wasn't comfortable in getting vulnerable, and it was very hard for me to articulate how I was feeling. And now I can honestly say that journaling has changed my life. It's been incorporated into my daily routine, and through it, I've gained a lot of confidence, perspective, and gratitude. I found myself being able to open up to other athletes as I was now able to articulate how I was feeling. I quickly became a safe space for many other athletes. What broke my heart is that no matter the school, sport, division, or gender, many people were struggling. The pressure to perform was just too much. We all felt like we were nothing more than a roster spot. This is when I realized that I wasn't alone. But the tip of the iceberg for me was when every single time I opened up my phone, I felt like I saw a new headline about an athlete taking their own lives. Time was ticking and something needed to change. Continuing the conversation was simply not enough in the sports community. Athletes weren't even yet comfortable starting that conversation. A quote after the passing of Stanford women's soccer player said it best. We have to put the person before the student and the athlete, otherwise we are at risk of losing all three. So this is why I created the tangible product, the personal playbook. I found that there was something to be said about disposing those thoughts physically onto paper. This is a compact journal tailored to the general athlete experience, designed to last a season. So this eliminates the fear of publicly appearing weak by creating a private and convenient way to relieve stress and anxiety. Our target market are NCAA athletes. As you can see, according to the statistics, our pool is about 134,000 student athletes. Our sales channel is the Athletes Mental Playbook website, and our marketing includes social media, brand awareness through brand ambassadors, as well as merchandise, and emailing leagues and conferences. Other markets are pro athletes, high school teams, and elite club teams. In terms of pricing, I did a first print with Campus Impressions, which is a local place on campus, and that was just to get journals in the hands of people, but I have since found a publisher who has given me much lower production costs. So in terms of retail price, we are looking at about $30 a journal, and bulk price for $15 a journal. And we are considering doing custom prints for schools as well as programs, but that will obviously bump the price up as more labor is needed. Our main competitors are Amazon, Target, and Paper. As you can see, our price is right in the middle of these ranges, so it is very competitive. And the one thing that the Athletes Mental Playbook has over all these is that we are not just a generic mindfulness journal. We are truly catered to the athlete's experience. In terms of our milestones, we've obtained an LLC, and we have created and printed 50 first drafts, as well as sold those. We've developed a marketing plan and growth in Instagram followers, and there are 4 confirmed team orders, as well as continued contact with college coaches and athletes. We hope to create brand merchandise, implement a brand ambassador program and call them our playmakers, establish a wider social media presence, create an Athlete Mental Playbook app that sets reminders to journal, as well as different versions of journals such as Injured Athletes and Identity Beyond Sports. This is our current outreach and schools that we are in contact with, whether that's coaches or athletes, and our confirmed orders are from Butler Women's Lacrosse, which is a custom order, as well as 3 high school programs. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll consider joining the movement. Take it play by play and day by day.
Now judges will have 3 minutes to ask questions about the venture. Judges, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
So thanks so much for sharing your story, and I love this idea. I'm curious, did you consult with any psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors as you created the content and the prompts for the guide?
Yes, I did. As I mentioned before, I do see a licensed mental health counselor here at Butler. And before I brought it out, I brought it to her because she was really, truly the inspiration behind my journey with journaling. So she read that over and gave me her input, and I brought it to athletic trainers. I was kind of bringing it to everybody involved with the athlete experience, as well as athletes themselves, to get that feedback, because I was working towards making a product that everyone felt comfortable using.
Hey, a great story. Your first customer, sorry if I missed this, how many journals did you sell?
Yes, so I did 50 initial prints for just individual retail, and I've had a lot of teammates and others purchase that. And then in terms of our first bulk order, that would be Butler Women's Lacrosse. They want a custom order, and that's in the works right now. That would be 100 journals. And then there's 3 confirmed high school level orders.
Right. Follow-up question, how long does a journal last? And you think with the bulk orders, have you considered setting them up for repeat orders or kind of a subscription type model?
Yeah, so they are designed to last a season. And I was trying to cater it to the generic athlete experience, not make it too specific and use the word like field when I know some other athletes play on a court, things like that. But so it's designed to last about a season. So lacrosse is like the spring, about 3 months. And so repurchase would be about 3 to 4 times a year. And as I mentioned, I am looking into making other journals because I know like summer training, off-season training is kind of different than in-season. So this one's a little bit more when you're playing games because there is a game day section, but designed to last about a season.
Great, thanks.
And Emma, you mentioned the competitors being Amazon and the big ones. Do they have athlete-targeted journals, or are they just generic journals?
No. So when I thought I was going to get back on the field, I actually did a deep dive, like Google search, looking for an athlete journal because journaling helped me so much. And I was like 3 pages deep in Google and I couldn't find a single one. And there are sports psychology books out there, but none journaling where you can personalize it and really like create your own experience with it.
All right, that is 3 minutes, and that was Butler's Ivanka pitching Athlete's Mental Playbook. The Department of Entrepreneurship and Innovation in the Lacey School of Business at Butler University produces graduates who are empathetic, adaptable, and forward-thinking leaders of startups or problem solvers within various organizations. From classroom and experiential education with diverse faculty and business coaches to internships and impact initiatives solving real-world problems, we learn business by building our own. The E&I department also advises the Innovation Lab. This interdisciplinary campus hub offers peer-to-peer coaching, prototyping, testing, and financial resources to assist business development and connections through a design, thinking, and agile model of think it, build it, test it, scale it. Learn more about it at butler.edu/Lacey-business. Up next, we have the University of Connecticut's Justin Nappy and Sadisky Malik. They'll be pitching Smart Cards, AR LLC, an augmented reality flashcard designed to give neurodiverse students a hands-on learning experience.
Good evening, everyone. Today we bring to you Smart Cards AR, the future of flashcards in education. I'm Sudsy, a social change entrepreneur and advocate, looking to translate policy into action.
And I'm Justin, a self-taught tech enthusiast aiming to change the way we look at life through gamification. I grew up with undiagnosed ADHD, and it made it really hard for me to get the most out of my educational experience. And today, 1 in 4 learners are considered neurodivergent, and that could be anything from ADHD, autism, dyslexia, and many more. And it can show itself in different ways, like a need to find patterns or use their hands. It could display an excessive amount of energy and a need to interact with others. And it can even cause them to be frustrated and have heightened anxiety in the classroom.
Through both our experiences, we developed this understanding that all students have certain strengths. But however, these strengths are being currently neglected in the traditional classroom setting. Our mission is to highlight and use these strengths to find ways to close the gap between neurotypical and neurodiverse students. In a typical classroom, you see reading and writing, maybe some visual and auditory aspects as well, but rarely do you find kinesthetic learning occurring in these spaces. So with this in mind, we developed an idea for customizable education for students and educators by creating an augmented reality learning platform, which connects hands-on experiential learning with modern technology to enhance the learning process. Ultimately, it is an accessible experience built for neurodiverse students from grades 2 to 5, having them at the forefront. So is the market hot for us? Yes, it is. The total value of augmented reality in education is expected to reach $5.3 billion by the end of this year. And last year, venture capitalists funded over $2.8 billion into the ed tech market. Our total available market is over 64 million students who are neurodiverse and have access to technology in schools in the United States. However, our initiative will begin in Connecticut, where our data suggests that there are around 100,000 students who are neurodiverse and have access to technology in school.
With this technology, we believe that we can increase student engagement with their learning by giving them a solution that's built for them. We also believe that we can help students develop their skill sets as an individual, not just as a learner. And we also believe we can give parents and teachers a way to support their students, which is much needed. Through this, we believe that there will be an increase in student test scores through consistent use, and we also believe we can allow students to be more socially engaged with their peers. Now, how does it work? First, a student can pick their card and place it on the table in front of their device. Then the device scans the card. Each card will have its own virtual environment. For the Earth, students can then use hand gestures and buttons to interact with the 3D media in a new and engaging way. For our revenue model, it starts with the physical flashcards. We plan them for $8 to $15 per deck, depending on how many cards are in each set. And there also will be additional tracking functionality starting at $13.99 a month, where teachers and parents can gain extra insights into their students' learning. There will be 4 to 6 card decks on launch, and we expect about half of our early adopters to purchase the monthly subscriptions. Now, this may seem like a high number, but we do believe that our early adopters are really interested in the extra insights they would gain from this feature. We also estimate that the average user will spend around $25 on cards for their initial purchase.
So one of the things that we have been able to do as a team is actually talk to these individuals and our customers and get some early feedback from them. Parents have told us that this is exactly the type of product that they are looking for their child. Teachers have told us that it's hard to find technology that's engaging and useful in classrooms, and this is something that they feel that they would be able to use and implement in their classrooms. And special education teachers have told us how important it is that we create a product built for neurodiverse students, with them having them at the forefront of our work. So overall, we could not be more excited to keep developing and working on our idea, specifically expanding our mentorship network, looking at marketing strategies, and expanding our team. Justin and I both believe that it is high time we rethink the education system to be one that is equitable for all students. The modern world is changing, and it is imperative that education moves with it. Imagine a world where all students are able to learn together in a classroom that plays to all of their strengths. It is not impossible. And with our technology, we will close this gap and transform the way we use technology in the classroom. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey today. We are now open to any questions.
And just as Sudie said, we've got 3 minutes on the clock. Judges, you might start your questions now.
Awesome. I'll start off. No, that very impressive, very cool what you guys are doing. I guess my question is, can you speak to the tech involved a little bit? What is going into the cards that you're making that I guess allows it to be picked up by the device? If you could just speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So to start, we are building our early development prototypes with a platform called Eighth Wall, which is actually owned by the same company that makes apps like Pokemon Go and other augmented reality apps that we love. Essentially, what we do is upload an image of our flashcard, and it's saved into a database with specific markers that help the computer know that it's a unique image. When these unique markers are sensed, what happens is the 3D environment that's associated with that specific card actually pops up on the screen with its own commands and different interactive features. Another component actually is that these cards interact with each other. So when you put 2 cards on the screen at the same time, the environment's different than when you put just one on the screen.
Awesome. Very cool.
Great job, guys. It looks like, kind of tagging onto that y'all built some stuff. How much has been built so far?
Yeah, so we've built a lot of different test builds that have stayed in the development environment that have been tested by myself and Sudzi. We're in the process right now of actually developing out our first alpha build, if you will, so that we can go and test and get this in the hands of some students. We're looking at hopefully mid-April for the first round of tests with that. And we're really looking forward to it.
So let me ask, who do you think is your target market? Is it individual families or is it the school systems?
Yeah, so we actually plan to start with individual families just because there's a lot of hoops to jump through when it comes to selling into schools and selling to teachers. But we believe that going through the parents first can help build a community around this and help show schools that this is something that parents want their kids to be able to use. And then from there, we can take that success and start licensing our technology to schools. There's a different pay model for that. It's going to be per seat, like a lot of software licensing is.
That was UConn's, sorry, time. That was 3 minutes. Sorry. That was UConn's Jess Nappy and Sudisky Malik pitching Smart Cards AR LLC. The University of Connecticut's pillar of entrepreneurship is the Peter J. Worth Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. It connects UConn's extensive ecosystem of resources, programs, academics, funding, mentorship, and activities relating to entrepreneurship and innovation throughout the university. Established in 2017, the institute seeks to unlock an innovative mindset in every student, instilling an inquisitive approach to challenging the status quo and creatively attacking the problems we face. By facilitating partnerships and building relationships spanning schools, industries, and traditional fields of study, the Worth Institute enables students to explore their innovative potential without barriers, creating opportunities not yet imagined. Up next, we have Villanova University's Jake Copen, Jacob Bordeaux, and Andrew Monreal sharing Now, an app that allows customers at entertainment venues to pay for food and drink orders from their phone.
Hi, I'm Jacob Bowden.
I'm Andrew Monreal.
And I'm Jake Copen, and we are the co-founders of Now. As Villanova students, we commonly join our peers in local college bars. Last semester, the three of us were at Kelly's Tap Room, the most popular Villanova bar. While we were there, we found ourselves waiting more than 20 minutes to get a drink. The bartenders were working hard, but they couldn't keep up with demand. This situation is very common in Kelly's and most college bars and dissuades some customers from ordering.
On a busy night, bartenders can spend up to 2 hours handling transactions, taking away from making drinks and completing orders. Most bartenders can make an average of 4 drinks per minute, and at an average of $5 per drink, those 2 hours spent handling transactions rather than making drinks results in an approximate loss of $2,400 per bartender per night. If these busy nights occur once a week, this culminates in a yearly loss of approximately $124,000 per bartender per year.
Now is a mobile app that improves the bar-going experience for both customers and bartenders. With Now, customers can order, pay, and tip for drinks directly from their phone, freeing up time to socialize with friends instead of waiting at the bar. On the bartender side, Now increases efficiency by automating transactions and streamlining the ordering process by allowing bartenders to handle overlapping requests with ease, freeing up time and increasing sales for the bar. With Now, you'll never open a tab again, and you'll never have to make the dreaded call to the bar the next morning, asking if you left your card behind.
As our development progresses, it's important that we understand the market so that we can capitalize on existing inefficiencies. Now has one direct competitor and many indirect competitors. Our direct competitor is Noble, the only other centralized remote ordering and payment system available. However, Now has several advantages over Noble, such as the lack of required hardware and no upfront charge. Our indirect competitors are all current POS systems present in bars and other relevant venues. We're not looking to compete with these POS systems. Rather, Now will be used in conjunction with these systems in order to meet the demand during busy times.
While the core feature of Now, which is the remote ordering process, will be free for businesses to adopt, we will charge a small service fee on every order that is proportional to the order total. In addition, we believe that we will be able to monetize Now by strategically partnering with companies in the food, beverage, and entertainment space. There are 75,000 bars and clubs in the United States. If 2% of these venues use Now, which is 1,500 venues, with the average venue making $520,000 in revenue per year, and a conservative estimate of 15% of bar transactions occurring on Now, we will make $3,120 in revenue from each venue annually. 1,500 customers multiplied by $3,120 gets us to our 2% utilization figure of $4.68 million a year. From here, you can extrapolate out to the 5 and 10% utilization, as well as our total addressable market. Now that we've explained the problem, here's why we're the right team at the right time. My name is Jake Coppen, and I'm the CEO of Now. I'm a senior finance major at Villanova and have been involved in the digital marketing space for a few years now.
I'm Jacob Bowden, and I'm the CTO of Now. I'm a senior computer science major at Villanova and have worked in the restaurant industry since I was 10.
I'm Andrew Monreal, and I'm the COO of Now. I'm a senior political science major with a business minor, and I'm the resident bartender on the team. Our diversified skill sets in computer science, finance, and media will allow us to change the live entertainment space for the better. In terms of our roadmap, Now is currently in development. Given our current momentum, we plan to have now ready for preliminary testing by April 1st, followed by a period of review, development, marketing, and security consultants. We're targeting May 1st as the App Store release date, and afterwards, we'll consistently update the app to create a better experience for our customers. In the future, we're looking to address better payment processing, corporate partnerships, and expanding into other industries. Save time, live now.
We're getting pretty good at this, judges. 3 minutes on the clock. Your timer is going to start now.
I have two quick questions. One is your go-to-market strategy with bars. I'm sure they get a lot of vendors coming in with different ideas and point-of-sale systems. So what is your strategy there? And then do the bars and restaurants need specific tech capabilities on their end to integrate with your platform to make this successful?
So to answer your first question, our market strategy is to target bar owners. Once we get bars and venues on board, it will be much easier to get customers on board. And your second question, all that will be required of bars and venues is to have an iPad or a phone with Wi-Fi or cellular connection. It does not require special hardware. The service is free to all bars and venues.
Great job, guys. I'm more familiar with this problem than I'd like to admit myself. But piggybacking on her question, so let's assume the bar uses Square. Do y'all have examples of other, I guess, ancillary softwares integrating with a product like Square? Has it been done before?
So Square and other POS systems have APIs, which allow our product eventually to work not only in conjunction, but directly with them for inventory tracking purposes. While this isn't a part of our initial release, we plan on it to kind of work in conjunction, like I said, kind of like a Uber Eats or a Grubhub currently works. We do plan on expanding so we can directly track inventory through those POS systems.
Got it. Good. Following question, did I calculate it right? It's 0.6% per transaction dollar. Is that the fee you guys are charging?
Yes.
Okay, and with that, we will move on. That was Villanova University's Jay Copen, Jacob Bowden, and Andrew Monreal pitching now. Villanova University's Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, formerly known as ICE, offers dynamic programming and resources to help Villanova students, alumni, faculty, and staff put their entrepreneurial and creative pursuits in motion. IE has multidisciplinary focus and seeks to advance the university's strategy by fostering cross-college learning and embedding entrepreneurial thinking more deeply in the Villanova culture. The Institute provides funding, entrepreneurship education, mentorship, and experiential learning opportunities to its community. Signature programs include the Innovation Fund, which provides grant funding, to Villanova-founded ventures. The Villanova Student Entrepreneurship Competition, a semester-long competition designed. Up next, we have St. John University's Radia Jamil. He'll be pitching it's a tongue twister, Mental Agents, a mental health peer support group program for youth striving to expand physiological literacy and make mental health resources more accessible.
Organization that aims to foster emotional wellness. Child Resilient and Mentelligence launched this past summer. They have helped reach 150 New York City high school students who are looking for help with mental health.
Have you ever sought therapy or professional mental health support before? If you have, chances are that you've encountered obstacles that have slowed down the process of getting therapy, or maybe it even prevented you from getting therapy altogether. Regardless of the barrier to receiving mental health support, whether it's financial concerns, stigma, a lack of resources, or time constraints, these obstacles are especially escalated for young people. Youth tend to be dependent on their parents and guardians financially and in terms of consent. Therefore, for young people under 18, getting therapy is not an independent decision. My name is Radia Jamil, and I founded Mentelligence at the heart of the pandemic 1.5 years ago, when most students across the country had been abruptly pushed to quarantine and remote learning. The need for mental health resources and awareness was at an all-time high, especially for people from underprivileged backgrounds. New York City has the most diverse and largest public school system in the U.S. More than a third of high school students in the U.S. reported experiencing poor mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic, and 44% said they persistently felt sad or hopeless. Hundreds of therapy methods and activities are out there, and most tend to have a specific focus and effect. For example, compassion-focused therapy focuses on tackling self-criticism and developing self-compassion, according to Psychology Today. On the other hand, interpersonal therapy focuses on improving mood swings, relationships, and social functioning. Mentelligence is a mental health peer support group program, and we have built a one-of-a-kind community dedicated to personal development in New York City. We started off as a peer support group for nearly 200 students from 18 different high schools, teaching members a wide variety of therapy activities and lessons in weekly workshops on Zoom. Hundreds of therapy methods and activities are out there, and most tend to have a specific focus and effect. We strive to teach and have students complete activities in small groups on a wide variety of therapy topics weekly, because mental health is not one size fits all. We emphasize exploring new methods. Additionally, we have a board of mental health professionals to check our curriculum before our trained small group leaders facilitate the weekly workshops.
Something that really stands out in Mentelligence is basically it doesn't provide only one solution, but many.
It's the ability to speak with your peers about something that maybe you don't really feel comfortable, or you feel like teachers or your parents don't really understand. It was eye-opening, I guess, in a way to talk about something that you never really talk about in school.
It was basically a time where we could bond together.
We launched our first pilot program in the summer of 2021, and since then we've run 2 summer programs and 1 year-round program. We already have established a large target audience of high school students in New York City. From the peer support group program, we've also realized the importance of accessibility. This is why now we are looking to expand our services by creating an app with different therapies available for easy access for all audiences. The mobile application will simulate real life, teaching users health strategies through fun, engaging, virtual education modules. Users will be able to track their progress and come out of each lesson with soft and hard skills that they can share with family, friends, and peers to better tackle their specific mental health symptoms and concerns. Mentelligence aims to move forward by establishing an app alongside the ongoing peer support group program, which will continue to successfully make access to mental health care and resources more accessible, especially in underserved communities. With your help, we can provide this resource that will further enable people to work on their health and wellness interactively at their own time, at their own pace, anytime and anywhere, for people of all ages and of all backgrounds. Unlike existing apps like BetterHelp and Talkspace that just virtually connect clients to professionals, we are actually striving to create an online interactive database of different types of therapy so that people can take the resources in their own hand. We sustain ourselves financially with pro bono work from student leaders and mental health professionals to develop and carry out our curriculum. The final users are students, but our customers and partners are schools and youth organizations that want to provide their students a mental health resource. With more funding, we can expand our services to more people and in more formats by digitizing our content to impact thousands across the country, especially those most in need. Thank you so much. My name is Radia Jamil.
And now we have 3 minutes for questions.
Let me jump in with a first question. Great presentation there. So I guess my question is if you could touch on how it works. I know you talked about there are the groups in the schools and there's also this digital element. So just talk a little bit more about how those two are different and how they work.
Yeah, so I think we would be offering the same resource, which is lessons and a curriculum of different types of therapy. So we're more than an idea. We've already ran 3 different pilot programs. So we've taught a lot of different types of therapy, and now we want to create an app. That's our next step. We want to scale and just digitize the lessons that we've been presenting already on Zoom to students in the form of an app to make it very interactive, and also to expand our audience so that more people could have access to our lessons and activities.
Thanks for this. As I understand your presentation, it looks like you're relying a lot on pro bono work and support to build your business and its impact. And I'm wondering your long-term vision for that in terms of sustainability and scalability, and when you would lean on more monetization tactics to help fund your efforts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as of right now, we're in the process of becoming legally registered as a nonprofit. So in terms of funding and stuff, we would rely on government grants, city grants, private foundation funds, etc. And in terms of monetization partnerships, we are just looking to really partner with schools. Schools who want to provide this resource for their students, and also in terms of leaders and presenting our lessons, we would like to partner with university students, perhaps those training to become professional mental health professionals, whether it's a social worker or a psychologist. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Can you talk me just through the process of actually going through the app? I open it up. Am I putting in information? What do I see? Is it, a list of meetings nearby, topics? Can you just kind of clarify that a little for me?
Yes, so as I was saying in my video, there are different types of therapy for different symptoms. So loneliness is one symptom, anxiety, depression, relationship issues. There are just these different symptoms. So I was thinking for the app, it would have maybe a box where you could put what symptom you're feeling at the moment or what feeling, and it would direct you to a personalized therapy activity that you could do for that symptom.
Great.
And that will do it. That was St. John's University's Radim Jamil pitching Mentelligence. The St. John's University's Collins College of Professional Studies is continuously growing its activities in entrepreneurship and innovation through new initiatives and engaging events on campus. Signature programs include our minor in entrepreneurship, Master of Science in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Design Factory, and Cutting Edge Labs, our Young Entrepreneurs event series, our Global Development Entrepreneurship program, and our annual Pitch Johnny competition. Learn more at stjohns.edu. Up next, we have Creighton University's Eli Vedral. He'll be pitching Kookaburra Cookies, which specializes in Strumble cookies. Strumble is a riff on the streusel crumble topping often found on muffins, cakes, and breads.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eli Vedral. I'm a senior studying graphic design at Creighton University in Omaha. I'm a Division I track and field and cross-country athlete. I'm a passionate traveler, self-taught baker, and the owner and founder of Kookaburra Cookies.
While working at a restaurant in Sydney, Australia, I was exposed to the idea of food fusion. I encountered sushi cheeseburgers and chili pepper gelato. That fusion changed the way I thought about baking.
One morning, when I was eating breakfast, I started to think if there was some way I could take everyone's favorite part of a muffin, that streusely, crumbly, buttery topping, and put it on something way more delicious, like a cookie. Shortly after, the Strumble cookie was born. Strumble is my riff on the streusel crumble topping that you often find on muffins and cakes and breads. I just took it, upgraded it, and put it on the best dessert, cookies. In addition to being topped with my trademark Strumble, all of my cookies come in unique flavors. S'mores, lemon shortbread, and cookies and cream, just to name a few. I also put a special emphasis on the experience of giving and receiving my cookies. Inside every aqua blue box, all of my cookies come individually packaged and sealed in custom printed bags. This is first for presentation purposes, but they also keep the cookies as fresh as possible. Currently, customers can order cookies online at kookaburracookies.com at any time. They can also find my cookies at farmers markets, pop-up shops, and other events. It frustrates me that contemporary cookie shops overvalue social media postability and undervalue the actual quality of the cookie. The flavors, the textures, the ingredients, the methods of preparation, those are what are most important. My goal with Kookaburra is to spread joy through the highest quality cookie possible. The good news is, cookies aren't going anywhere. According to the Industrial Research Institute, cookie sales totaled $10.8 billion in 2022, which is an almost 10% increase from a year prior. When it comes to the value proposition of my cookies, I don't want to get caught up in the numbers. Instead, I want to get caught up in the experience of a Strumble cookie. So we're going to do a little exercise. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let everything else go. As you open the oven, you are overtaken by the smells of browning butter and sweet sugar. You can't wait. That first bite is everything. You immediately taste graham cracker and brown sugar, and there's a burst of melted milk chocolate. You go in for another bite. This time you hit a molten marshmallow and something a little bit crunchy. It's a little bit salty. It's the Strumble. Open your eyes. All right, back to business. Though I'm currently baking out of my home kitchen, the feasibility of my business is already known. I have sold out of almost every event and market that I've attended. I've also maxed out my production capacity numerous times in the history of my business. My customers are extremely loyal. If they order once, they order twice. And if they order twice, they order a dozen more times. After graduating college, I plan to transition from my home kitchen to a commercial kitchen. This will allow me to begin increasing my production capacity and shipping nationwide. While my first location will be in Nebraska, I will eventually have locations in multiple states. Placing in the top 3 of Big East Startup Challenge will help make that transition that much smoother. So there's just one more question to ask. Are you ready to struggle?
All righty, and we have 3 minutes now for questions.
How much are you normally cooking in one sitting, or however you go about it?
So at this point, it's basically a full-time job. So I'm baking. I have a semi-industrial size mixer, and I can make about 6 dozen batches at a time. And yeah, I'm basically doing, I don't even know, multiple batches of those a day throughout the week.
Great. Awesome.
Good job, Eli. They look delicious. Your kitchen is pristine as well. I'm a little jealous.
Thank you.
How much have you been selling a cookie for? How much does a cookie cost?
So online, customers can order a half dozen for $22 plus tax, and they can order a full dozen for $38. At markets and pop-up events, cookies are $4 for a single, and then same prices for the half dozen and full dozens.
Do you have a sense for your margin or average margin?
Yeah, so it's just under 50% profit margin.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Are you offering any cookies that are like vegan or feeding into like different dietary constraints?
Yes, yeah. So I actually have a gluten-free cookie that's only available by special request just because I'm baking out of my home kitchen still and it's not certified. So I have to make sure the customers are aware of that before they order it. But that is available for customers. I'm still playing around with vegan stuff, but coconut oil can be difficult to work with.
Yes, it can.
Timeline-wise, when did this all begin? I guess, so how long have you been, going to shows, been available online, et cetera?
So I launched this the summer of COVID, so summer of 2020, by going to farmers markets, which in retrospect was a adventurous decision. But yeah, so it's been going ever since.
Great. Good.
Okay. That was Creighton University's Eli Vedral pitching Kookaburra cookies. The Creighton Entrepreneurship Program strives to go beyond the classroom to allow students the opportunity to immerse themselves into the process of becoming an entrepreneur. Our rigorous academic programming is completed by a number of entrepreneurial opportunities, including a partnership with the Omaha Startup Collaborative, internships, and social entrepreneurship trips to the Dominican Republic. At Creighton, we are not just creating the entrepreneurs for the future, we are creating entrepreneurs who are going to change the world. For more information, please visit creighton.edu/business. Up next, we have Georgetown's Brendan Footy pitching Soros, a software that organizes shared VMs running on Azure and AWS, which lowers the cost of personal computers by 90%.
Hey everyone, my name is Brendan Footy. I'm the founder and CEO of Soros, and I'm excited to talk to you today about how we're building the next generation of infrastructure for personal computers. The presentation is going to be broken down into 4 parts. It's going to start with a conversation about the product that we have now, and then a conversation about the market, and then a conversation about the impact, is particularly how it's going to impact many people. And finally, it's going to be talking about the team and the incredible people that we've assembled to build what we have today. So starting out, I'll share my screen to give a demo of the product. What you're seeing in front of you is the first consumer-facing virtual machine. And to translate that, what we've done is put a personal computer in your browser. And so this is an incredibly powerful computer, that has internet speeds like you've never seen before. Per day, I was able to run a 1,000,000-line Excel sheet on this computer, and we're able to do all of this in your browser, where the processing is not happening on your computer. The processing is happening on the cloud. So the implication of this is that using our current product, you're able to have a $100 Chromebook, and you're able to use our product and turn into a $1,000 laptop within seconds. And so we're literally able to lower the cost of personal computing by over 90%. And that's really, really exciting when we think about the context of the market, which I'll talk about next. The most important thing to understand with the market and how it's enabled our product is that the constraint to this having happened in the past, and the reason that large providers such as Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure have not done it on their own, is because the largest constraint is network connectivity. And what that means is if the processing is happening over the internet rather than happening literally on your computer, then it's going to be constrained by how good your internet connection is. But what we've seen is that there's this huge tailwind associated with networking, where 4G is getting far faster, 5G is rolling out, fiber is going to more and more homes in America, and most importantly, low Earth orbit satellites with Starlink are globalizing 20 millisecond, 100 megabytes down connectivity. And that kind of shift is so monumental as to enable us to move where the processing for the entire personal computer is happening and make it far, far, far more efficient. Our partners are really excited about this. So we've been working with Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. Azure has given us over $150,000 in credits to use their cloud. And what that means is that our unit costs for our first $150,000 are entirely free because Microsoft has been paying for them and is indicating that they're willing to continue paying for a significant amount of time longer. In terms of getting into the impact and how this really affects people, it's really exciting to think about what the world would look like in a world where everyone is able to access a personal computer, in a world where it's so much cheaper that it's no longer prohibitive, and people are able to use it for education, for building businesses, for research, etc. And that's the kind of future that we're trying to build. In terms of the next version of product and the V2, that ties into this very closely, which is that what we're witnessing is that many people in the world, over 1 billion, have a smartphone, but not a personal computer. So what we're doing in the next phase is removing the need for a Chromebook. We're leveraging the connectivity infrastructure already on someone's smartphone, and then we're using that to stream a personal computer to our hardware, which is a screen that we sell to them. So what that looks like is a $40 upfront hardware cost, and then 6 cents an hour for usage, meaning that it's far more than just an order of magnitude reduction in the cost of personal computing. And this is really going to further allow us to bring this technology to the masses, as we've already pursued 2 patents on this, one surrounding one-click virtual machines and the other surrounding our proprietary queuing system that allows people to access personal computers really quickly. The last thing that I want to talk about is our team, which cannot be underrated. So I am the founder and CEO, and I'm the sole founder. My background is that I founded A1 Operations, which is a cloud consulting business. And so I have a lot of experience in essentially launching different cloud products and particularly negotiating with cloud providers to save costs, saving my clients over $1.3 million. The background of my engineers is spread out, but Biswabasu has a background at Microsoft. Sagnik Sahana has a background at Adobe. We're also working with another engineer named Harsh Trivedi. So I'm excited to talk more and answer any questions.
So let's waste no more time. 3 minutes on the clock. Ask away.
Awesome.
Oh, you're muted.
Keep doing that. How are you going about finding your customers right now?
Yeah, so right now it splits into 2 key areas. In terms of consumer, we have a large wait list that's largely centered around people who are doing photo editing and video editing because it's so compute intensive. And so there's all sorts of people around the world who are, editing photos, videos, etc., and don't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars for a computer. So we're able to put a really powerful computer in their browser. The second is sort of enterprise B2B type sales, where we've gotten interest from the Boys and Girls Club and Georgetown University to move into ed tech, because so many of these ed tech institutions, have hundreds or even thousands of Chromebooks where they're looking to be able to get the power to run more heavy applications, and we're able to enable that to happen.
Got it. And sorry if I missed this. Can you go over your competition quickly, or who you see as competitors?
Yeah. So basically, what we're doing is we're working with the idea of like a virtual machine, which is a computer that's running in the cloud. There are like business-facing virtual machines. You've probably heard about companies like VMware, Microsoft Azure, or Amazon Web Services. The reason that we're different is that we're the first consumer-facing virtual machine. And so what that means is that we're the first ones that are actually trying to go after replacing the personal computer use case. And our theory is that this hasn't been possible in the past because running a computer over the internet requires fast internet connectivity. And we're just now getting to this era where we're able to have fast enough internet and fast enough connectivity that we're able to centralize the entire personal computing experience.
How do you handle data privacy, security, malware, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, fantastic question. So we're built on AWS and Azure's clouds, which are the 2 cloud providers that are trusted by the CIA. So we're literally the most secure cyber infrastructure in the world. And it would actually be far more secure than just having, your personal computer, which is more susceptible to cyber attacks.
Great job, Brendan. You got a good nod, it sounds like, from Microsoft. Have you received any anecdotal feedback from them? Any conversations?
Yeah. So basically, they really like the direction that we're taking the product, and especially potential integrations in with the 365 suite. Right now, their support has just come in the form of giving us cloud credits, which is basically just covering all of our variable costs for the time going. They haven't been helping us out on the sales side, but eventually, the goal would be to further integrate in with the Office suite. We have had talks with them about integrating the 365 suite into our current product, which we already done to some extent, but not in a formal partnership in that capacity.
Got it. The credits aside, I think you said you're charging 6 cents an hour. How much does Microsoft charge you?
Yeah, so our cost structure is about 5 cents an hour at scale. 6 cents an hour is what we want to get it down to. Right now, we're very flexible on what we charge because, again, there's no cost whatsoever.
And that is going to be time. Perfect on the timing. That was Georgetown's Brennan Footy pitching Sarones. At Georgetown Entrepreneurship, we believe that entrepreneurship is one of the world's most powerful forces for positive change. We're dedicated to instilling an entrepreneurial mindset in every Georgetown student through world-class education and innovative programming infused with our Jesuit values. We offer a wide variety of programming for idea and growth stage ventures, including pitch competitions, student and alumni startup accelerators, our Entrepreneurs in Residence mentorship program, an undergraduate entrepreneurship minor, student organizations, exciting speaker events, and more. Learn more at eship.georgetown.edu. Up next, we have Seton Hall University's Siddhant Kapoor and Cameron Tower sharing Helio, a guidance counselor tool designed to help alleviate guidance counselor stresses while providing more support points for students who need critical mental health help.
How's everybody doing? My name is Sid Kapoor.
My name is Cameron Tower.
A shared feeling is that everyone has felt down, and in those circumstances, we need to confide in others. But unfortunately, these episodes that people face is prevalent everywhere amongst youth. Mental disorders increased 48.1% between 1990 and 2019. Because of this, 1 in 3 students show symptoms of depression. It is getting worse.
Unfortunately, according to a harrowing statistic from the American School Counseling Association, the ratio of students to guidance counselors is 470 to 1, which is double the recommended rate, leaving students in long wait times. Some instances include wait times of 6 months or longer. The wait time is unacceptable. So why don't we hire mental health specialists to cut this wait time? According to the National Association of School Psychologists, there is a lack of specialists for hire by 63,000 individuals. The problem remains, not only for the student who needs help, but also the school districts who are under great stress to assist students with mental health problems, as well as various tasks such as scheduling a class. Studies show that school counselors often incur high levels of stress that may result from multiple job responsibilities. We are focusing on improving these support points for alleviating the mental health issues amongst adolescents through helping guidance counselors. This is important. Some students who don't have family support, some are afraid of talking to their friends as conversations may end up on social media, and some simply feel insecure in front of their loved ones. Counselors are our front line, and school districts need help.
Coming from a background of leading youth projects, as well as consulting mental health service workers, we have been hard at work in creating Helio. What exactly is Helio, and how does it work to help guidance counselors and students? This is chatbot technology. Chatbots simulate conversations through language detection software to give an appropriate response back, similar to something like ChatGPT. The student would log onto their school website and click the link to Helio. In this specific circumstance, the student can tell the chatbot that it would like to schedule an appointment with a guidance counselor. Mental health help would be interpreted as something like, I feel sad, or I need someone to talk about my mental health. It will schedule an appointment with a guidance counselor, and because of this, students will not wait 6 months. Through the waitlist prioritization system, mental health calls will be moved up in priority. Studies reveal the common consensus that the quicker these calls are addressed, the student is better off. Another feature of our chatbot is that students will be encouraged to journal and have their journals monitored by artificial intelligence, as studies show that writing emotions down significantly reduces mental health stress and improves student resilience. Now, there may be some concerns. What if the bot is unable to detect a call for mental health? It should be of utmost importance that the words sad, dissatisfied, depressed, and millions of other iterations of asking for help will not be misinterpreted. Word recognition based off of data banks from Amazon will prompt the user to schedule a guidance counselor appointment with unparalleled accuracy. We also want the chatbot to help students with class registration to help take the load off for guidance counselors and address the initial problem of long student wait times.
Other mental health chatbots like Uber and Ada are lacking the centralization with the school portal, which Helio does have. This will allow for more efficiency and convenience to use the chatbot, especially when all aspects of the school's function are merging with the website. We must stay updated to those terms, something our competitors are not focusing on. Moreover, Uber and Ada do not feature any two-way communication system for counselors to connect with students. This makes Helio the forefront of this market. Currently, we are being backed by Amazon through $17,500 in grants and are getting access to their cloud services. We are in talks with Washington State, where our connections in public education start. We plan to use the Bellevue City District as a representation of the effectiveness of the chatbot and pitch the idea to other public high school districts, and our reach will expand across the United States.
Moving on to financials, the average high school has 530 students, and the school district would be charged approximately $20,000 per year for our services. Pricing would vary on a sliding scale. Our market consists of 16,000 schools, which are identified to not meet mental health requirements. Our goal is to launch in 2024, break even in 2025, and if we obtain contracts with 5% of the market, we will earn $14.8 million in revenue. Our startup costs and continuing costs are minimized as Helio is a web service. With student wait times reaching an all-time high and guidance counselors feeling overwhelmed, we need someone to help fortify this front line, and Helio is the way to do it. Thank you. How you doing?
All right, we've got 3 minutes.
I'm curious about the $20K per year price tag. How did you get at that number? What is your understanding of the sales channels and the addressable budget that you're playing with to secure the funding to bring this into the schools that you're targeting?
Sure. So it's a lot of data research based on schools that we've already talked to. The number one school that we're talking to right now is in the Washington State district, Bellevue, more specifically. We've talked to them. They're backing us up on this project, and 20 grand is reasonable because considering two things, that $191 million in expenditure for something like this is going up by the NIH, National Institute for Health, which is currently at $4 billion. That combined with the fact that like 20 grand for a school of those size, they can afford it with these subsidies that the government are giving us. Thank you.
Good job, guys. Could you explain a little further? I get the prioritization, but how it relieves some of the guidance counselors just on a sheer volume basis?
Sure. We automate a lot of the tasks. That's mainly what we do. The prioritization thing, we allow for journaling. And another thing we'd like to add, we already have added, is class scheduling, right? Class scheduling takes a big time off of guidance counselors. We also have a couple more things like career planning, just automating all those processes and really help the guidance counselors really focus on this mental health issue. Thank you.
Got it. Thanks.
And do you have a working prototype right now?
Yes.
And is that what's the school in Washington's looking at and using?
Yes. They're currently not using it. We haven't implemented it, but we've talked to them. We're open to any more questions if you guys have any. If not, we could fill up the time.
I think with that, it is time, so we are going to move on.
Perfect.
Thank you so much to Seton Hall University. The Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship in the Stillman School of Business fosters the collaboration of faculty, students, alumni, and entrepreneurs through an array of initiatives that advance entrepreneurial learning at Seton Hall University. Student entrepreneurs can compete for funding in the annual Pirates Pitch startup competition and participate in a Pirates Launchpad Summer Accelerator program. The center additionally hosts the Pirates Pitch for high school students competition that attracts over 150 student applicants annually from more than 20 states and several foreign countries. The center offers students extensive mentoring with alumni entrepreneurs, skills building workshops, and an entrepreneur lecture series. The center recognizes the achievements of successful alumni entrepreneurs at the annual Seton Hall University University Entrepreneur Hall of Fame induction reception. For more information, please visit our website, shu.go/entrepreneur. Up next, we have Providence College's Daniel Carrero, Alexandra Delano, and Shane Tyrer pitching Posted, a platform dedicated to helping youth 14 to 24 explore career and educational possibilities through opportunity postings and near-peer mentorship.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going.
Have you heard about Posted? It's a one-stop shop for people our age to talk about the future together.
Posted also offers a skill development network of workshops, paid internships, apprenticeships, and educational opportunities, so you can still explore and develop your interests with less pressure. The opportunities are there. Posted makes finding them easy. The opportunity gap is only increasing, with schools and other programs experiencing a continuing decline in attendance, diversity, and retention. Posted stands out from other apps by connecting all youth from ages 14 to 24 with a near-peer network, and is dedicated to the career development of low-income and underserved youth.
In comparison to our competitors, we focused on aiding future paths early on. Handshake is a proven opportunity platform, but solely targets college students. LinkedIn is a useful platform, but does not target youth. Naviance is the leading college and career platform, reaching 40% of high school students in the US. But according to users, it is difficult to navigate and not user-friendly. Posted stands out because none of these platforms connect users to local mentors in a convenient, professional way.
Posted generates revenue by charging universities and apprenticeship partners an annual fee of $1,000 to $10,000 a year, based on a tiered pricing structure. Posted universities and apprenticeship students are able to market their program through a near-peer mentoring model. Posted wants to pilot the app in partnership with Providence College and nearby institutions in Providence. With only 4,000 Providence College students and roughly 17,000 Providence youth above the age of 14, Providence College can only provide so many mentors. With 13 universities in Rhode Island, Posted seeks to grow and serve over 100,000 youth in Rhode Island in the first year.
Hey, I'm trying to figure out what to do with my life.
Talking about the future with parents can be stressful. Posted lets you connect with near peers to help make the conversation less intimidating and more relatable. All you have to do is take a survey that matches a near peer mentor with similar interests to you.
Alright, but this sounds expensive.
Well, for students like you and me, it's free. Posted is a nonprofit asset for universities and state programs seeking to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, career development, and to relieve the burden of guidance counselors through student mentorship. With a large number of youth becoming continuously hesitant to go to college and many still lacking money-making skills, Posted creates a win-win for career and college recruitment, and most importantly, me and you.
With $50,000 to fund the development of a safe and user-friendly app, Sweat Equity will make up the cost required to build relationships with universities and apprenticeships. Together with you, we can create a world where the arbitrary circumstances in which people are born, such as their race, ethnicity, zip code, and socioeconomic status, no longer determine their opportunities in life. Let's keep everyone posted.
And now we have 3 minutes to ask questions. Judges, whenever you're ready.
I have 2 questions. So one, why the nonprofit status versus like a B Corp or a for-profit? I mean, B Corps are for-profit, but.
Yeah. So as a nonprofit, we're seeking funding at the intersection of both historically excluded youth, workforce development, and education. While we did ask from the pitch contest, the 50K startup, we know it's going to be a lot more to actually get this initiative off the ground. And I think it's part of our brand as well to stay almost local, nonprofit, and youth and community oriented.
Okay, and then in terms of your matching, because that's key, right? You want to make those connections and build those relationships in the pipelines to opportunity, connections, like all of that great stuff. So I saw on the screenshot, you talked like there's military status and a few other categories, but how deep does your algorithm go in terms of matching and the categorization around that?
So ideally, we want to have a survey that would cover a lot of different opportunities. As of right now, ONET is an opportunity online that students can take 60 questions, rank them from a scale of 1 to 10 with their interest level. But what we want to do is make them a lot more oriented to individual interests. That way, we can make sure that a mentee is getting matched with someone who has the exact same interests as them. We don't want someone, for example, I'm a biology major. I don't want to be paired with a business student because they wouldn't be able to match me with some opportunities, whether it be a college path, whether it be a scholarship program or an opportunity to work within the Providence community or other places nationally if we take it to that scale. So ideally, we want to make sure that these questions are geared specifically towards our students, and that covers areas other than the traditional path of going to secondary education or as well as going into the workforce.
Good job, guys. How did y'all come up with the idea?
Yeah, so we all had a lot of personal stakes and personal experiences related to our life paths and career choices. I'll share my own story. I come from low-income communities where I was what I know one author called a part of the privileged poor, and I was granted access because of certain skills to certain educational skills opportunities. But a lot of classmates, a lot of friends who didn't fit the model of the ideal student weren't granted these opportunities. So the app is essentially a way to grant autonomy in searching and in collaborating on pursuing different paths.
And that will be our time. 3 minutes is up. That was Providence College's Daniel Carrero, Alexandra Delano, and Shane Tyler pitching posted. The Donald R. Ryan 69 Incubator for Entrepreneurship in the Arts and Sciences, Providence College, launched in late 2022. It's now the home base for entrepreneurial activities and initiatives at PC. Although early in its development, the incubator is launching programs and opportunities to equip students and the broader PC community with the knowledge, networks, and resources to engage in entrepreneurial thinking and doing that positively impacts themselves, PC, and the broader community. Early campus programming includes an innovation and entrepreneurship fellowship, which places students at internships in the local startup community, provides a cohort-based learning community, alumni mentorship, and stipends. Next fall, the incubator will launch a campus-wide entrepreneurship training program aimed at equipping students with the skills they need to launch ventures, culminating in a pitch competition with prize funding. The incubator is also working with a student-led entrepreneurship club to bring entrepreneurial leaders to campus to share their stories and entrepreneurial endeavors. We are also expected to open a dedicated physical incubator space on campus soon. Finally, the Ryan Incubator plans to have positive impact beyond the campus walls, working in PC's neighboring communities through supporting both the local Providence youth and business community. The incubator works closely with both the business and innovation program at the School of Arts and Sciences, as well as the Providence College Business School. The ultimate vision of the college is to ensure that PC is a place where all students learn about and embrace an entrepreneurial mindset grounded in the liberal arts to ensure they can lead a meaningful and purposeful life. Now that our pitches have concluded, we'll tabulate our judges' scores to determine our top 3 winners. We'll also have the opportunity to hear from Betty Manna. Betty is a Seton Hall alumna who is the president and CEO of Agent Associates, Inc. and Associar LLC, a past member of the Seton Hall University Board of Regents. She earned her master's degree in international business from the university and was awarded the Beta Gamma Sigma Award for contributing significantly to the vitality and strength of the economy, combining business achievement with service to humanity. Betty is involved in numerous professional and community organizations, including serving as secretary of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Tech Titans. She has served on the President's Export Council, which advised President G.W. Bush on international trade matters and its impact on small, women, and minority-owned businesses. She has received numerous awards from local, state, federal, corporate, and nonprofit organizations for her leadership and commitment to community. Without further ado, Betty Manna.
Thank you so much. And it's such an honor to be here today. It's amazing what I just experienced. You guys were all terrific. Oh, everything's changing on my screen. So thank you so much. Very impressive, and I love the entrepreneurial spirit and juices that I witnessed today. So congratulations to all of you participating for this competitive and passionate involvement in the program. So a little bit about my entrepreneurial journey. As mentioned, I came from another country. I think that gives us a little bit of difference. We come in with an entrepreneurial spirit. As mentioned, I was born in Argentina, and a fluent Spanish-speaking Latina tapped into my culture here and abroad. That's why I chose my master's in international business. But before I launched my company, I worked at AT&T for 20 some odd years, where I was a director supporting sales in the Middle East and Africa, and later Central America and the Caribbean. But throughout my career at AT&T, I really was fortunate to have different types of jobs. I worked in bids and proposal, contract management, quality, HR, supplier diversity, and I think all that really gave me a great foundation as I launched my company. I started Argent, which is a technology-based company. I knew where there were issues in the telecom sector. So for obvious reasons, my first customer was AT&T. We have been doing business now for over 23 years and have grown into other sectors that required and demand the same type of knowledge and technology. So for example, of late, automotive sector, they need companies that have technology backgrounds. Most cars are nothing more than becoming mobile devices on wheels, right? Especially as we move into the autonomous vehicle arena. One of the key tenets of being an entrepreneur is to focus on continuously learning and what will be the next wave of technology. Since Argent, I started 4 successful companies in the tech and entertainment business. They have all been very successful, and you may want to call me a serial entrepreneur. But I think that, the thing that I love the most is the ability to work with other companies and to be part of the ecosystem that's going to help us grow. Argent, as mentioned, was a 23-year-old company, and we are one of the largest Hispanic woman-owned tech companies in the nation. Another key area is my commitment to engagement and impact in the community, and I heard that throughout the pitches today. A lot of community engagement, expanding the pipeline of innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders for today and tomorrow. So I have several examples of some of the things I did that I'm so proud of. I had this young boy, Daniel, who graduated high school and had a girlfriend who was pregnant. And so he came to me looking for a job. So after much discussions, we decided to hire him. Fast forward to today, he has grown into an amazing technician, running Motorola projects. He got married to his girlfriend. Their son now is like 6 years old. He was able to buy his first house, and he has 2 new cars, was able to go on a cruise for his honeymoon. That's what makes it different about being an entrepreneur, seeing your employees grow, seeing the impact that you have on other people's lives. Another example is our warehouse workers. Many of them graduated high school. Some came out of college but couldn't find a job. They were either family or friends of some of our employees. So we've done the same thing. We've trained them, and some of them now are some of our best RF engineers, technicians in the fields. So much so that both AT&T and Motorola has plucked some of my employees and taken them to their companies, obviously making a lot more than I was able to pay them. But it makes me feel good that we were able to find the right talent, be able to train them. And my customers look to me and they know that we know how to train and lead with some amazing talent in the marketplace. We're engaging now communities to develop kiosk video gaming. That's one of my businesses. And we're going into underserved communities, especially in the Dallas area right now, where we're training young kids to in software development to do some gaming applications. So again, these are all the things that an entrepreneur has to think about. Another area that I'm focusing on is STEM, especially in the Hispanic organizations that I'm part of. And we're helping young women, focusing and helping them to grow in STEM. Being an entrepreneur is exhilarating, but also difficult. You need to know, and you have to be resilient. One of the famous quote from Roy T. Bennett, dreams don't work unless you take action. And the surest way to make the dreams come true is to live them. Have a plan, otherwise you don't know where you're going. And if you veer in the wrong directions, you'll never get back to your plan. Know your audience. What problem do you want to solve, and for whom? Plus, as a business, is there profit to be found? Will people buy or invest in it? One of my investments was in a company called Sea Control. I had a customer who needed to track assets and access to their 2,500 garages. And they wanted to put people in all these garages, which is crazy. And I said, well, what about a vending machine? Vending machine that you can access through your badge, and then you scan out what you needed. That's how I found Sea Control. I made an investment, and we did very well. And it's now they have vending machines all over the place. But we were one of the pioneers in finding something like that, that married access and asset together using wireless technology. Canaries is another investment I made, part of their advisory board. An African-American woman has a platform for D&I, diversity and inclusion, and she's selling this platform and including with a lot of other corporations. So we're really seeing the fruits of our labor. Follow through with excellence. You want to be the superstar in whatever you do in the eyes of your audience. Stay nimble and continuously learning so that you can transform as the marketplace changes. I think several of you mentioned that during the pandemic. That was a perfect example of how many of our companies, small businesses, pivoted. Whatever they were doing, they went to the PPE, and they've done very well. They were able to weather the storms for the past 2 or 3 years. Unfortunately, many of them are now out of business. Know your strengths and concentrate on them. Hire or partner for areas in which you are weak. I can't do it all, so I make sure that I hire people that have the skills and the ability to do things that I know I'm not good at. Surround yourself with positivity. No drama or naysayers. Know your numbers. If you don't work for profit, then you will not last too long. So a couple of key takeaways from my journey. As a Hispanic woman owned company, I got all my companies certified through NMSDC, which is the National Minority of Supplier Development Council, and WeBank, Women Business Enterprise National Council. Both of these organizations have hundreds of corporate partners, agencies, universities, hospitals. One certifies any minority company. The other just does women, and it could be any kind of woman. So that's the first thing I did to make sure that I would be able to play in the marketplace with some large corporate partners. Networking is critical. That's why I joined chambers, specifically the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, local chambers, and of where I do business. I joined the tech organization, such as the Tech Titan, Quest Forum, TIA, and many more. I attend trade shows to ensure I stay ahead of my industry. Read books that can assist your company. One great book that I recommend is The 12-Week Year. It's a fabulous book that was introduced to us by EY. And it's a way that you can forecast and set goals in 12-week increments, making each 12th week be like a year. So this way you don't get overwhelmed, and then you stay focused versus trying to do 3 to 4 year forecasts. Just remember, again, the pandemic, all that planning went out the window and we couldn't visit customers. So I think by doing it in bite sizes helps you grow your business and keeps you razor focused. Utilize all the government agencies that are free and are there to help, such as SBA, the Small Business Administration, MBDA, the Minority Business Development Agency, Economic Business Development Agency, and your local chambers. Another good one that I used when I started my business was SCORE, the Senior Citizens of Retired Executives. They will align you with the right retired executive that can help and coach your business. So in closing, remember there are two oceans that we swim in. There's the red ocean, that's where all the competitors and the piranhas swim that can eat you up. And then there's the blue ocean, the one that you can create. You can create your own ecosystem. You can be the first out there. And there's so many different examples. One that comes to mind is the hotel industry. So you have hotels, that's all the red ocean. There's so many that compete against each other. And then you have Airbnb. And they came out and they really changed the hotel industry. So I just think that that's something that I learned at the Kennedy School of Business. And it was a great learning because I always try to think, where can I go that my competitors are not there yet? So dream big. I wish you all the very success in your entrepreneurial journey. Remember, there's one thing I always like to say. Lift as you climb. This is a woman-owned company that developed that. We have to lift each other up as we climb and grow our businesses. So good luck and God bless.
Thank you so much, Betty. The time has come to announce our 2023 Big East Startup Challenge winners. Thank you to all the amazing teams that pitched this evening. Every school put forward fabulous students with incredible ideas. No matter who wins tonight, you'll always have a place in the Big East family. So let me get our results. Okay, so third place, our finalist team is Xavier, RateMyCollegeLandlord.com. Congratulations, you'll receive an honorarium of $500. Ooh, go Xavier. In second place, we have Creighton, Kookaburra Cookies. Congratulations, Creighton. You'll receive an honorarium of $1,000. And this year's Big East Startup Challenge champion is Georgetown. Congratulations. You'll receive an honorarium of $1,500 and the opportunity to attend the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament. The conference office will connect with each of the faculty and staff of the top placing institutions on delivery of the honorarium. That's our show for the evening. Thank you again to all the wonderful teams who pitched tonight and the entrepreneurship centers who supported them. Thank you to the Big East Conference for conducting this event and providing a generous honorarium for our winning teams. Thank you for those who tuned in to watch our students compete tonight. Good night and have a great evening.